It is one of the most high-profile court cases in Maryland's history, and it has gained international attention. Nearly 20 years ago, Adnan Syed was convicted of murdering his former girlfriend, Hae Min Lee. But in the years that follow, there's been growing doubt of his guilt. The reasons why, examined in a wildly popular podcast called Serial, and most recently, an HBO series. For decades, it's been a roller coaster of lower courts ruling in favor of a new trial and higher courts overturning those decisions. Tonight, WJZ reports Syed's lawyer will now see if the U.S. Supreme Court will consider this case. In a rare interview, I speak with Syed's devastated family.
Every day, we are hoping for the best.
Every day, Shaman Rockman cries, missing her son and what her happy family once was. In those moments when you think about what has transpired from the beginning to now, how would you describe what your life has been like?
We don't have no life anymore. We are not like a normal family anymore.
But that wasn't always the case. Adnan was a stellar student, an athlete who shared a forbidden love with Hae Min Lee. Both of their parents disapproved for religious reasons, and the secret romance ended. In January 1999, Lee disappeared. Her body found a month later buried in Lincoln Park in Baltimore City. Police built a case against Syed, largely on the testimony of this man, Jay Wilds, who had more than 20 run-ins with police, including aggravated assault against a former girlfriend. Wilds struck a deal, claiming that Adnan asked him to help bury Hae Min's body. He quickly became the centerpiece of their case, despite changing his testimony multiple times. While he pled guilty to accessory after the fact, Wilds served no time. He is a free man who now lives in California.
The police didn't do their job. They were just fixated on Adnan, so they wanted to point everyone towards him. All the direction and everything had to be pointed towards him. And they painted a narrative. They didn't check anyone else.
The family also says a key alibi witness was never called to testify in Syed's defense. Asia McClain, who appeared in the HBO documentary series The Case Against Adnan Syed, insists he was in the library with her at the time police claim Hae Min was murdered. Asia wrote to Adnan while he was in jail. "I'm not sure if you remember talking to me in the library on January 13th, but I remember chatting with you. Depending on the amount of time you spent in the library that afternoon, it might help in your defense." But this and other facts were ignored by Syed's counsel, Christina Gutierrez, who was later disbarred and who now is dead. In attorney Justin Brown's Baltimore office, there are volumes of files, most of which chronicle key factors for consideration of a new trial for Syed, including there is no DNA evidence linking Syed to Hae Min's murder, the alibi witness Asia McClain. Cell phone records do not place Syed at the scene. The key witness for the state has a long criminal record and his story changed on multiple occasions. But despite two Maryland courts deciding Syed should get a new trial, the state's highest court overruled their vote 4-3. So now there's only one place you can go.
The next step is to petition to the Supreme Court to see that we've come so far that so many other judges and so many other courts have said, hey, this guy deserves a new trial. We're not asking anyone to set him free. We're asking for a new trial.
It is even more devastating for the Syed family, who want nothing more than justice for Adnan. Their family torn apart. Adnan's father quit work. He has become a recluse, staying in his room, coming out only to go to prayer at a local mosque. He makes a rare appearance during our interview, quickly exiting the house. His health and that of Shaman at times failing. But even though he's going through all this, he still goes to prayer.
Yeah.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's the only thing keep him alive.
Keeps us all alive.
All of us,
Our faith in God.
Everyone involved in this case acknowledges a life was lost, and Hae Min Lee's family is suffering as well. The Syeds want justice for her as much as they do for their son. Her family declined to be interviewed, and for weeks we made repeated requests for prosecutors to talk about this case. They would only issue this statement, which says in part, the Court of Appeal's most recent decision clearly outlines the reasons his appeal was denied, presenting all the evidence that upholds his conviction. The entire Maryland Court of Appeals ruling is posted on WJZ.com.